PRC, quality service since 1972. Repairing TVs, console stereos, electronic musical instruments, pinball machines, arcade games, and more. Call 836-0454.
This is the Weather Xtreme video for Sunday, September the 27th. And I'm meteorologist Brian Peters. Thanks for tuning in this morning. And it certainly looks like it's going to be a wonderful, fallish-like upcoming week. Let's get to our sky cams this morning, and kind of an interesting view from the Compass Bank building in downtown Birmingham with a view of a few low clouds still hanging around. We can see a few low clouds and a little bit of fog on the river over there to the left. And fog certainly visible at Jasper this morning, and so we're going to be seeing that clear out. The front has moved through the state of Alabama, although dry air continues to filter in, but the real dry and cool air is behind the second front, and that one will probably arrive on Monday. Temperatures a little bit cooler across the southeastern U.S., with 70s confined primarily to the southeast U.S. coast and Florida and along the Gulf Coast, but we can see some nice cooler values up there in the north west part of the United States, those 40s. So looking around central Alabama, we can see that lows this morning generally range from about mid-60s in west central Alabama to near 70 across the east central part of the state. Radar much clearer this morning, but we still have a good number of advisories in effect, and those are high wind warnings and high wind advisories ahead of that system up there to the northwest of us. QPF-wise, we haven't seen this in a while, and that is dry weather. The QPF sort of tells the story, and most of that you see in the southeast part of the state has either fallen or will be falling this morning as it gets out of here. Storm Prediction Center outlooking a fairly large area around the Great Lakes for a slight risk of severe weather today, but you can see not even any thunderstorms expected over much of the southeastern U.S. And on day 5, and I believe that's October 1st into the 2nd, October being a climatologically dry month, but they're outlooking a rather large area as the models are coming together on a very potent looking system. The Hurricane Center is watching an area of cloudiness that was Tropical Depression 8, but it doesn't look like there's any signs that that's going to develop into much. All right, here's the 068 GFS model run, and believe it or not, we have the whole run this morning. And there's the first short wave is over Pennsylvania and Virginia, and then the second short wave is up there in the Dakotas, and that's going to be moving our way. But we're going to be dry with most of the weather along the Gulf Coast, Florida, and the southeast Atlantic coast. We stay dry, but here comes that front. Now, we may see a few clouds, but I think for the most part we're going to be dry on Monday, as you can see the packing of the thickness values there, and certainly cooler, drier air coming. The pattern becomes very polar here. That is, we've got one low on the East Coast and one very strong low on the West Coast as well. That pattern continues into Wednesday as we're between the two, staying dry and relatively cool. And Tuesday morning and Wednesday morning, we actually might see some temperatures flirting with the upper 40s across central Alabama. We'll be watching for that. The ridge stays with us on Thursday, so we're going to stay dry as that system out there to the west of us begins to go negatively tilted, and that could be producing some weather across the area that the Storm Prediction Center was outlooking. By Friday, the 2nd of October, the two systems are very close. Look how pinched that ridge becomes. And that should keep us dry for Friday, but it looks like there may be some rain possibilities as we get a little return flow back there. By Saturday, the flow across much of the U.S., except the Northwest, has gone nearly zonal. And with moisture returning, we may be seeing the possibility of a shower or two. And finally, by a week from today, we're still under a ridge with that strong short wave and also closed low over the west coast, and one pulling out to the northeast. And once again, possibly an isolated shower or two. All right, out into Voodoo country, and this is around the 8th of October, and you can see a fairly good short wave moving through the flow across the central part of the U.S., and that could be producing a front with the possibility of some rain for us, which, of course, in October being our driest month climatologically, we could always use that. And then finally, we're back under a ridge around the 12th of October, which is a pattern more typical for October, keeping us dry. Well, thanks for tuning in to the Weather Xtreme Xtreme video. I'm meteorologist Brian Peters. I think James Spann will be back in the saddle tomorrow. And by the way, thanks to everybody who came out to Jam It at the Junction last night at Helena. The rain cleared out. We had a great concert with Bo Bice. Hope that you all have a great Sunday, and Godspeed.